just because it makes you have to decide if you want to go gray first or if you want to go start first. Ooh. That's interesting. And hello. Silver arrows as the Armos item right out the starting gate.
Not going to be digging level 9 for those.
This puts them, in theory, one item away from go mode because there must be a wood sword available in an open cave, and oh, this is a poverty seed.
Yeah, that's a bummer. They will still need to collect 5 Triforces. This is not the random Triforce flags.
XIceblue losing some of his rupees on that gamble. Little unfortunate. So, the main reason the 25 mid is so bad is we have second quest overworld, which means your recorder is more important, your wood sword is right there, and there's only one large secret available.
Yeah, one and done. Hope it's going to be a nice one. Not this seed.
We're hearing... Oh, go ahead. So, one runner has a sword, one runner has the silvers. They'll both find both of those pretty quick. Although, did Jan take a retry? Or maybe he just hasn't found anything yet. And a book on the coat. I might be thinking, why would you want the book? Because it's hints.
Yes, not the Atlas in these flags, the hints. Very useful. As soon as you can read them, they will be helpful hints. Old men are not lying. Looks like those blue moblins are vanilla HP.
That's actually not terrible.
Yeah, better +0 than +4.
And given that they already have the silver arrows, they can one-shot them with those silvers to try to get some good bomb drops going. Assuming they get a bow anywhere.
Jam's got his sword. Under 3 minutes in, these runners are armed.
And only 6 items away, sort of, from being able to fight Ganon. Assuming you don't need anything besides a bow and 5 triangles.
But second quest overworld, much more likely to require the recorder or the power bracelet. Jam seeing that book.
We're getting indication in chat the door repair must be at least 18, which definitely means this is the poverty seed, as there are 10 door repairs across Hyrule.
And that small secret, just 5 rupees. You know, Jam is keeping it a bit PG for this sprite today. If you've seen Jam's custom sprite, just leave it at that. Check out JamEvil on Twitch.
So the interesting thing about the poor money in the seed, also we have any roads, one of which is on Death Mountain, which is totally fine. Because we got early silvers, and there's a pretty good chance that both of our runners are going to be taking a candle from the first bonus cave they find, the poor money might not be the end of the world unless it's a very key-starved seed.
Nice that this take any led to the southwest. You don't have to, you know, gamble on whether that's going to be a good location to check out. Also ate up a recorder spot.
That is definitely... I'd say that's the more convenient of the two bonuses you get from that any road.
Jam, armed with bombs, is going to do some excavating up here in the northeast corner. And he finds a letter.
So now the big question. Where are our dungeons going to be?
At this rate, it looks like they're going to be under some burn bushes, maybe a power bracelet spot.
Double raft block hype?
Ooh, double raft block. It's not something you see too often. Oh, xIceblue getting bopped by those Lionels.
Right in front of the stair to boot.
So I'm gonna guess that that's a level right there.
Probably. I mean, it's not necessarily cheap in this league. Your options are 88 or 72. So I'm gonna guess our runners are hoping not to see a bait block anywhere in this seed. To answer the question in chat, it is second quest secrets, which means there will be only one large secret, and there are 10 door repairs instead of 9.
Aha, it was a level. Look at that. xIceblue getting a little salty, I'm sure.
I think this is 2. I'm just gonna say it, I think this is 2.
Yeah. 2 is filled with bomb holes. Ooh, look at these Gibdos.
Looks like Jam is gonna
Nice
take a
bomb
different
drop.
path. Oh, it's a manhandler.
Is it beefy?
We hope not. Beefy manhandlers are never something you want to see.
Bullseye. Oh, ladder block's not something you want to see either. Oh, how about that free Triforce, though?
Indeed. Hopefully we'll get a pause to see what level this is for certain.
He says no, he doesn't need to pause. But I think you're right, I think this is looking like level 2.
Yeah, based on what rooms are available and most importantly what doorways are available.
Another manhandler. xIceblue opting to sword him to death.
And that room down there that Jam could not bomb into is going to be an old man.
Wow, another ladder block. So, dungeon entrance, manhandle, a ladder block. That's the progression so far.
And we all know that because there's so many ladder blocks in this dungeon, it's going to be the blue nanner.
No, I think Jiggly Saint's theory is turning out to be correct. The blue Nana comes up when your opponent is about to beat the game.
Interesting.
Ice is taking shelter in that lake.
It's actually not a bad strategy if you have the health to afford the like hit.
Yep, and rewarded with compass. Now find some red robes.
Hopefully they're not too beefy. Usually they're a good source of bombs.
Looks like 5 HP.
Oh, that's not too bad.
Ooh, and look at those Zulls going down in one. Another good source of bombs.
So let's see here. We've been through a lot of rooms and only seen a heart container. I'm starting to get concerned we're ladder blocked out of this item.
Quite possibly. Ice did find that compass. And not been paying too much attention to what Jam's been doing in this level.
Jam has the compass, it looks like. I'm pretty sure he's just looking for the item before he gets the Triforce and goes.
Oh, they are in the same level. Alright.
Oh.
Different palettes here. As Ice picks up the recorder, that's a nice find in second quest overworld.
Absolutely. Especially if it's just... More importantly, it is not ladder blocked.
And it's most certainly level 2 that ice is now full cleared.
So, if you get the flute at this point, do you start just routing in all of the flute spots on the overworld? Or do you kind of just go about your natural routing anyway?
And you kind of gotta just work it into a certain direction. You know, don't go out of your way, you know, for just a recorder spot or two. But definitely keep it in the back of your mind that all those spots are open.
The other interesting thing about the recorder is, as you get more dungeons cleared, overworld deaths start to become less and less costly, depending on where the dungeons are.
Oh, Jam finds a hit shop. Not too bad, but unfortunately doesn't have a whole lot of money to spend on those hints that he would not be able to read anyway.
The interesting thing about that is the book becomes one of those items that the earlier you find it, the better. As you get later into the seed, unless you're still missing an important item, its value starts to drop off. And look at that candle price!
Just 1 rupee shy on Jam's end. And it looks like xIceblue finds another hint shop, much more expensive up here on Death Mountain.
And Jam wants this rupee to get this candle.
Yep, he's waiting on these P-hats. Luckily, they too have rolled vanilla.
Ooh, xIceblue taking a bot from a Lionel sword. Never fun.
Facing beeping strats here. Gotta be careful, especially with these Tektites. Finding another medium secret. Jam's still unable to get that rupee drop.
There it is. Now, the interesting thing is, if the candle shop is the rare shop, that might actually be an advantage for Jam that he's doing this now, vice Death Mountain. Because Death Mountain doesn't seem to have much of anything.
Yep, not a whole lot of other shops having candles either. Well,
but it has 9.
We got random level 9. So Jam will have to come up there eventually.
Well, that is right next to the Any Road.
Ooh, look at this level in the vanilla blue ring shop. In an immediate staircase.
This is gonna be 5.
Ooh, it's the white sword.
Wait, if this is actually 5 and it had an early item that's good, I call shenanigans that never happens.
And xIceblue grabbing candle. Didn't see if that was a take any or not.
He bought it from a shop. And another level found by xIceblue.
Yep, so these levels are not playing hide and seek. At least not very well. Sorry.
I think at this point, we can get... I think I'd give the minorest of advantages over to xIceblue, just on the grounds that he knows where 9 is. And I believe he's in 4.
I wouldn't count out the power of that white sword.
Not at all. That's why it's the minorest.
Yeah, it's definitely a help in this dungeon where Jam found Patra. And it looks like he's in level 5 for sure.
That was a very rough hit on xIceblue's side. He got hit as he killed the Dodongo, meaning no free bomb.
There's the Triforce, though. And right behind him, JamEvil are getting his second. Tied up, neck and neck. And that's level 4 on xIceblue's end.
It absolutely makes sense that xIceblue going to look for the item in here, only to be ladder blocked immediately. That's an interesting place for the ladder block to be. We do find a bomb shop.
It looks like there might be a workaround that ladder block in 4, but he has found a key block instead. Will these Wallmasters pay off? No, they will not.
He may need to go down past that Dodongo room.
Luckily, these dongos are in here for a refill.
He's gonna have to go right here, and as Jake Hopper and Chad is pointing out, he did miss the chance of a Kanana key to get through that key door.
Oh, that would have been a good thing to pay attention to. Not the easiest trick to pull off, especially with the certain enemy types.
Well, depending on where the stair is, he may have to do that anyway.
He finds a key guarded by these dark nuts.
While Jam is checking his recorder spots, he will probably come across 4 pretty quick, which might swing the momentum back in his favor, as he does have that white sword. Assuming there's any momentum to begin with.
We haven't taken any here in the graveyard, but I would say that the early silvers were a pretty good starting point. Hit the ground running.
Let me say this real quick. So, xIceblue using the key there, it's interesting, because here he has one room he can access, whereas back the other way he had more. But on the other hand, if he is planning to Kanana key through that door, then it makes a little more sense to use it there, as you can't Kanana key when you have a key.
It looks like he might attempt it. But I do agree, I would not have spent my key on a single room or 2, as opposed to the rest of the top of this level 4.
We're getting word from chat that the large secret was 78.
Yep, poverty confirmed.
And based on how key-starved this seed has been already, this could be a little rough going forward.
There were just 3. Luckily, Wallmasters are a good enemy to Kanana key with. Greeted by red bubbles, gets bopped. He's swordless. Nope. Looks like Jam picked up that Triforce out of 4 as well. And he's jumping back in here.
He did debate it for a second. I think it ultimately makes sense to go ahead and try to knock this out. It's a relatively small dungeon. It could have your bow. You never know when you're going to find the next dungeon.
xIceblue saying no to that key on that floor. Maybe a little intimidated by those blue dark nuts.
Looks like he's going back for it. Maybe he just wanted to get a different spawn.
Yeah, looks like he just wanted to reset the room. Gotta love the NES.
But now he's got to get... Oh.
I was
Go ahead.
just gonna say that Jam is definitely moving a little bit faster. He managed to pick up some extra keys in another dungeon, so he did not have to worry about the Kanana key.
And that white sword is going to make his combat just ever so much faster than... Actually, not just ever so much faster. About twice as fast as xIceblue's. Not factoring his use of bombs on the Wallmasters.
Luckily, those Wallmasters had a key for him.
Looks like this will be our item room with the rupee boss.
Drum
It
roll,
is.
please. Red ring. Not
That
the
is
best item to see, but worth the dig.
Absolutely. That is going to quadruple xIceblue's defense, and I see no reason to doubt that Jam will also get that.
white sword and red ring and with Jam, and he'll be flying. XIceblue just needs to come down here and get that bop by that blue bubble. And oh, he's gonna grab the last pack of bombs from this Dodongo here.
Definitely not a bad idea. If you know there's
some...
Dodongos available, you take the bombs.
Yeah, that was some solid routing on his end. And look at that, JamEvil armed with the red ring.
Let's see where Jam goes from here.
I'm gonna guess he'll trek up Death Mountain. And look at that color with that red ring. I like that change.
Yes, we have the classic tingle.
Almost like a neon green or a glow-in-the-dark tingle. So ice up to 5 hearts now. Love to find the white sword item here.
Look at those potion prices. 47 for the blue, 50 for the red.
Yep, the potion shop lady has heard about the poverty seed. Offering a discount.
Looks like Jam is going to do East Death Mountain first. Not necessarily the worst idea. He knows he hasn't any road to go up to West Death Mountain. And he can check all but the second quest magic sword spot.
Should find level 9 in short order. There's that large secret for ice.
And let's see here. Both runners have a decent amount of money given it's a poverty seed, but they don't really need to buy anything. So it's almost a moot point?
Yep, don't need to buy a ring, don't need to buy arrows. Luckily that candle was pretty cheap. Ice doing some gambling, not paying off.
But I did see that large one of 71.
Yep, it's a bit risky though, over 100 rupees and you're gambling.
Now I see the way that Jam routed this. He worked back to 4 after doing East Death Mountain. Now he's going to clear off the rest of Death Mountain.
Ice is going to come up here, find a candle shop, and then he should be running it into level 5.
Jam has now seen level 9. Meaning that I'm pretty sure in the next minute or two, these runners are going to be about even again. In terms of items, Triforces, knowledge.
Yep, and we are pretty cleared out in terms of overworld checks. So I'm guessing we're going to have to find the raft or the power bracelet soon.
Well, there is one place they have not checked yet, and that is the forest.
That is correct. Did not have a candle. They got their candle on West Hyrule.
Jam has a little bit of a bomb issue here. He'd like to get a bomb from these Lionels if they stop shooting swords every 2 seconds.
That's what happens when they group up like that. Oh,
Gets the
lucky
bomb on the
drop.
last one.
He got bopped, so he was not working on a count there.
Can't says a blame him.
This staircase, yikes.
Yes, but with Red Ring and White Sword, Patra, it's still a threat, but it's not nearly as much a threat as it would have been with no Ring, Wood Sword. That Red Ring is just extremely powerful whenever you find it.
Yeah, the likelihood of clipping past that Patra. slim to none.
Indeed. Jam's gonna finish off near start here. I bet you both of these runners would like to have that book. Maybe not even so much for the hints on items, but for the hints on where dungeons are.
Yep, hopefully they see something like Sail Knot. And no feat of strength required.
Or if play a melody to obtain the bow would also be kind of nice for them. Because then they know to look to the recorder spots. Now, there are certain things we're not going to see. Even with important items in 9, we're never going to see it in a situation where an item locks itself, which means that we won't have, say, a bow behind a Goma block. Even if you can get past it through a block clip, the game does not take that into account in the logic.
Yep, no clips necessary to beat a seed.
Here's a level.
Yes, at the end of Candle Row here.
This feels like a 3.
You were right, sir. We have the Ninja Star.
I always thought it was a... Well, I know what the actual name of it is, but I always thought it was like a pinwheel.
Not a bad idea either. I do, however, miss that Hyrule favorite game of Name That Inkblot. Not been able to do it this tournament.
An early Triforce, but Jam was going to look for the item, knowing that he's still missing that all-important bow.
And there's xIceblue picking up that level 5 Triforce in the Triforce room.
Jam sees the hint. Fortunately, my guy speaks Spanish.
Yep. Looks like Tingle does not.
And Jam opting the potion to get his sword back. And you know, I don't necessarily think that's a bad idea, given that the potion, at least the red potion, is relatively cheap. He's likely not going to have to spend money on much else in this seed.
Fortunately, that Aqua Menace rolling a little high.
Yeah, minor detail.
Well, I think Jim was maybe going for a bomb drop, but he's got his bombs.
Very possible. Oh, ladder block from the bottom of 3. But thankfully all the bubbles are on the other side of the river, so he can just firing gallery, or shooting gallery away.
So that is interesting. If he can't find something else over here on the left side.
Now, it is only 2 rooms that are ladder blocked. Vice, the 6 he still has available without it. And here's the item.
Ooh, here we go.
Survey says...
Bull's voice. Nope, they are guarding the scrap metal.
Well, that's not the boomerang you want to see to begin with. And as Jam is about to head out of 3, xIceblue maybe only a couple rooms behind him if he's going to have the faster 3.
Yep, it will be interesting to see if he can route this fast. They'll continue to plug along, neck and neck.
I think he'll take that bomb wall once he sees that this is a corridor room full of red bubbles. I think his 3 is going to be just a bit faster. This will come down to the overworld and who finds that 5th dungeon first.
Don't forget, we are also missing the bow. Level 9 could hold the secret to the bow.
Absolutely. And I think, given the...
Go ahead. Real quick.
Yeah. So I think, given the dungeons they found so far, if the next dungeon they find is 1, I would imagine both runners just going straight to 9, because the remaining dungeons are large. if the next dungeon they find is one of the large dungeons, it'll be interesting to see what they do with that.
If it's 8, I say you dig it.
Well, speaking of dungeons, oh, this could be 8 or 1.
Yeah,
This is neither. This is 6 or 7.
and given that it's so close to their starting screen, if this turns out maybe to be level 7, I say maybe it'd bounce out of here.
It feels like a 6, but it's difficult to tell because 6 and 7 start the exact same way.
I'm getting the 7 vibe. My red bird sense is tingling.
I don't know, oh, interesting.
And the map will not be found. Well, found it just won't be had.
And logically speaking, I'm pretty sure the game assumes you have the ladder going into that room. Which, if that's the case and the item is up in this portion of the dungeon, this cannot be the ladder. And I'm starting to think this is 6. There's the Triforce. So logically speaking, unless it's changed in the past, I don't know, however long it's been since I last looked, you are ladder blocked from this Triforce, even though you can get around it. No? Only no-go? Okay, never mind. I was mistaken Goku logic for normal logic. Thank you, Cover in chat.
There's Ganon's room. And the survey says...
Power bracelet.
Alright. So all but 2 spots on the overworld open to us.
So we
They're now
currently
second
have...
quests. I guess they could also be blocked out of those 2 ladder spots along the river.
Yep. Now, I believe we have... What is it? 8 items still out in the open? Because we've gotten... Recorder out of 2. Or we've seen, and I guess I'll do another recap. Recorder in 2. Blue Boomerang in 3. 4 had the red ring. 5 had the white sword. 6 has the power bracelet. The book was on the coast. And the Armos item was the silver arrows. That means both items in 1, both items in 8, both items in 9, the item in 7, and the white sword item are all still out in the open.
xIceblue gonna come across level 6 here.
As Jam finds another level.
Yeah,
This is 7.
Though, have a very similar routing. Immediate ladder blocking in the heart.
This is definitely 7, based on that start location and what directions you can go.
And I think that's like at least the second heart that we've seen that's ladder blocked, and both of these runners still each with 5 hearts. Just imagine not being able to pick up the bow as the white sword item.
It looks like you can get around this ladder block, which is good news for Jam. Their key count honestly hasn't been that high this seed either. Everyone's telling me this is 8. I don't think this can be 8 based on the fact that you can go north at start along the left. We'll see if xIceblue opts to dig the item out of here or if he opts to leave. I don't think he knows if it's 6 or 7 yet. Well, this definitely has an 8 feel to it, so maybe I was mistaken. He did enter from that side.
Looks like he's gonna clear out these whiz robes or get the clock so he can do a block clip in peace.
Now, xIceblue will get his power bracelet, and it looks like I was mistaken. This is indeed 8. My apologies to chat and the viewers. xIceblue now has his 5th and final Triforce. We'll see if he decides to immediately go into 9 or follows in Jam's footsteps and looks for other dungeons.
Looking for other dungeons. He's stumbling into level 7 as well, as Jam finds the spiral staircase.
I do believe this is actually 8, and I was mistaken earlier. My apologies. So, interesting that neither runner has found 1 yet.
1 has been elusive.
Looks like a dead end at the end of 8.
And that confirms level 8 on xIceblue's side.
And what do you get as a floor drop in a room with 3 Dodongos? More bombs! And yes, Jam has seen level 9. Both runners know where 9 is, they just don't want to go in there because items.
There are too many items available, not worth gambling on level 9. Although it would give you, the information as to possibly where the princess or the beast lie.
xIceblue picking up the Triforce probably got forced into it, and or just picked it up to get it out of the way. Here's our first item. Play a melody to obtain the key. And play a melody to obtain the boomerang.
Banana. Alright, Jam is gonna grab that. He's hungry for some jam.
He's up near the end of the dungeon, so he might go ahead and just check these 2 rooms for some items, even though it burns a couple of keys. Both runners now up to 6 hearts.
Have we seen any bomb upgrades?
Nope. Can neither player afford one, though.
xIceblue is up to 107 rupees. Pretty sure Jam's out of that running now.
Likely at this point. If you'll excuse me for just a moment, I gotta go take care of something.
Yep, not a problem. Jam is looking for the second item here. Picked up his banana. And the wand. Alright, so level 8. Not what the runners are looking for, but Jam is gonna pick up both of these. Wand and the boomerang in level 8. And that makes level 9 look much more valuable.
My sincerest apologies about that.
Not a problem. But you did miss Jam finding the second item in level 9 have the wand.
That is not a bad item to find. Especially when you consider the wand sword glitch.
It might decrease the odds of him grabbing that buck, especially this late into the seed.
Jam is heading back to the power bracelet spots now. still looking for that level 1.
I'm gonna guess he's gonna maybe check just the 2 or 3 up on Death Mountain and then jump into level 9. He's hoping he stumbles across level 1 first, though.
I mean, level 1 at this power bracelet spot that he's heading to right now would be fantastic for him.
Yep, even if it comes up to be not what he's looking for. But it looks like he is just jumping into level 9. Pirouette that bomb hole open. Only armed with 3 keys though, so he is going to have to be careful and watch his key count. And right off the bat we get a shoot room.
But that wand from 8 will help him out tremendously, as he does not need to worry about his health.
And even those bubbles, although those are not the permanently cursing type. And fighting against these patch are also going to come in handy.
So Jam is going to be looking for a couple of things here.
And this is the wand on Ice's side here.
So with both runners having that wand, that white sword, once they get into 9, there's 2 things they're going to be looking for. Well, 3 things. One is staircases. Every staircase could be potentially the bow. They're going to be listening for the roar of Ganon. And they're also going to be looking for a shutter door that does not open when all of the enemies are cleared.
Speaking of the roar of Ganon, looks like Jam has found the pig on that previous screen. Looks like he is going to be either south or east of that room, and we find the raft right next to Ganon. Is that a clue?
It might be.
Jam is up and Aang, and he is out of there. He is gonna raft. Gonna check the power bracelet spot first, looks like.
And I think, given the knowledge that he has, this is an absolutely excellent decision to make. He's already found Ganon, and he's already found one of the 2 items in 9. At that point, he's got a larger dungeon than 7 left to check for a second item in Zelda. It's much more efficient to go try to find 1.
Yes, sir. Just missing the items out of level 1, level 7, and the white sword item. So just now a 1 out of, what was that, 5 chance that the bow is going to be in level 9.
Mm-hmm.
Much more likely that he's going to find it either in level 1, possibly somewhere out here on the overworld.
And we're forgetting about the X Factor. The ladder.
Oh, that's right. I mentioned it a little while ago. There are 2 ladder spots that Jam is about to pass here on the river.
Not only that, but you could need the ladder to get to Zelda. You could need the ladder to get to the bow in a different dungeon. You could need the ladder, like you said, for the 2 overworld spots. There's a lot. The ladder could very well be the make or break of the scene.
Ice is checking this second quest magical sword location and just finding another Takeany, unfortunately. So I think that's all the power bracelet spots, if I'm not mistaken. Jam gonna do some surfing over here on the coast.
We're also hearing from chat that it could very well be Ganon's in a lot of required rooms, such as the mode or the Chevy room. Well, not technically required, but hard.
The Chevy room would be the worst.
Oh, absolutely.
And raft spot number 1, nothing but a Takeany.
That seems kind of vanilla.
Oh, that's right, it is. It's, isn't that just first quest, though?
It's both, actually. That is one of the few spots that does not change between quests. You know, oh, here's a dungeon. That is 7.
Is it? No.
Just based on where it's starting and the fact that we've already seen 6, that's got to be 7.
Oh, yep. The eagle doesn't quite split off like that.
This is one of the tough... This to me seems like a tough choice. Is it, do you dig 7? You could go back and dig 9. They're about the same amount of rooms.
Yeah, honestly, I think digging 9 would be a better call, just because that might give you information as to where the princess is.
Well, do you find the bait block?
Looks like xIceblue is gonna come down here to the forest.
You may find
5 keys.
Jam at 5, xIceblue at 1 key. In spite of the monetary advantage xIceblue has, Jam has the key advantage. Jam is going to leave 7. Wait, is he leaving 7 or is he just unlocking the door? That's the real question.
Ooh, good point. Yeah, that pirouette there will unlock that key door. Just take a little bit of time because it's a recorder spot, but those keys are valuable.
Absolutely. And just back to the bait block.
Luckily, you're not set up in a blocking location.
You know, we failed to mention the fact that the keys have at least 3 health.
Oh, that is a good point. I don't think we've seen them up until this, though. I guess we have in item staircases.
So now the question becomes, obviously if you find bow in 7, you go straight to 9. If you find, I forgot to mark raft, my apologies. If you find the ladder in 7, do you check the 2 ladder spots and then go back to 9, or do you keep looking for 1?
I think you gotta look for 1. I mean, maybe if you find the any key in 7, maybe you jump back into level 9. But I think 1 is just too valuable to pass up, and then you never know if you're gonna stumble into the White Sword Cave.
Jam has found both sides of the item stair, and this will not be the item stair, the transport, and this will not be the item stair for him. But he does get $5.
Another Triforce in the Triforce room, Fred. What's going on?
Hey, maybe... I mean, you had to kind of go through half a 7 at least to get here. We'll allow it.
Maybe it's the Triforce room out of level 6.
Well, Dan does get a heart, so if nothing else, he's up to 8. And we might start to see xIceblue's key count come into being a factor.
Yeah, but it looks like level 7 is just loaded with keys.
But if you look at the key counts, it's remained relatively stable, and that the amount of keys Jam has had throughout the 7 hasn't really changed much. He's just getting keys and spending them immediately.
He might be a little less worried just because he does have those extra keys to burn. I guess he might find some workarounds. Oh, Jam is finding this time in the staircase, though.
And that is deep in 7. To get ladder.
Ladder, here we go. Porter blocking the ladder. What is the ladder blocking?
One way to find out. And I like the decision to skip the bow at this point, both because of the book. Mainly because at this point you know it's going to be in one of 2 places. And yes, you could pick up the book and go buy the hints, or you could just try to find one.
Yeah, you'd be just praying for a really specific hint that level 1 is here, or I don't know, maybe they've marked down the White Sword cave hint. That might be a good thing to check out. But I know most people don't kind of mark those locations down.
And I'm being reminded in chat that there is still the Zelda hint in 9, as well as there could also be the White Sword hint that the players would want to pick up, so that they know if they have to go look for a White Sword cave.
It does hold some value, but with that wand, it's really not very tempting.
Well, it looks like at the moment there's no caves that exist. It's all just shops and such. I'm not sure what xIceblue is doing, but oh, he probably took the transport to get to this 4-7 and is gonna go back.
This is the final push block spot here. And it's the any key as the White Sword item.
Well then.
Right,
That means
so
it's 1 or 9.
Yep, we have a 2 out of 3 chance, 66% that it's going to be in level 1.
And at this point, you just take the time and find one.
I think at this point, level 1 is raft blocked.
Could be ladder blocked.
Oh, that's right, I keep forgetting that pesky river. Jam has not, though.
Well, it's not there.
The lag is real, and we have a level 1. That is ladder blocked.
Indeed.
And we have
And the bow's right there.
Bow, alright, so chain reaction seed.
And Jim is going to opt to walk out, and I don't know if it's faster to whistle to 4 or just walk to 9 from where he's at.
Yeah, it's probably about the same. But Jam chose to walk out, so he could keep his full health.
So, let's look at this chain reaction now that we know it exactly. You had to go into 2 to get the recorder, to go into 7, dig the whole thing to get the ladder, to go into 1 to get your bow.
Yep, and on the way, picking up that any key is looking really good on Jam's end.
Especially compared to xIceblue's 3.
Jam has heard the pig, so he will make a beeline for him. Or I guess the pig is going to be Zelda's sprite, considering he's playing as Trogdor.
I think because he's Tingle, it's going to still be Ganon and then Zelda.
Okay.
Now here's the thing, xIceblue looks like he's heading straight for the book.
Did he pick up the raft? Or the ladder, I mean?
Yes. I just don't know if he picked up the raft because I don't think he's been in 9 yet.
Yeah, no, I don't think he has the raft.
Now this, if Zelda is tough to find, this could be a game changer. And xIceblue is definitely not out of this yet.
Yeah.
It will be a little tougher, but not impossible.
We got Bull's voice in the line. Can I just hear Ganon again, even though he's already dead?
I don't think that's a thing.
Maybe it was a shutter door or something that I heard.
Probably was. Oh, hi, Zelda.
There we go. Right is... Oh, Ice Blue getting a hint for the bow right there. Step over the water to reach the bow. And maybe just finding out that Jam has that done. And step over the water to reach the red candle. So probably the red candle, the second item in level 1.
I'd believe it. Which would put... What would the last item in 9 be then? Raft and Spare Heart?
Yes, I don't think we saw the Spare Heart. That's correct.
XIceblue is now heading to where level 1 is. He will get his bow immediately. And that did not seem to be a difficult 9, so he may well be done in the next 5 minutes here.
Yep.
Sub-hour is still definitely in reason.
He has found level 1. He will find his bow in really short order. Unfortunately, he cannot open his key door. But happy to see that bow, and he will be jumping into level 9. And I'm pretty sure the pig could be heard just by going up, up, up.
Yeah, I think it's just straight up in 9, get you both Ganon and Zelda.
Could very easily sub-hour this seed still. As we have been joined in the booth by JamEvil. Congratulations.
Thank you. What even was that? That was...
Everything was free except the bow.
Yeah. Well, having to get yeah, that's 7. That was a deep dive 7 for that ladder. I didn't want to do it. I almost bailed out. And I was like, you know what? I have really very few options. I don't know where 1 is. There's not many spots I can check. I didn't expect ladder in 7, but I did expect something. Yeah, I don't know. There's just a few spots left on the overworld that I hadn't checked. Like 1 power bracelet spot up by level 9, and I think that's it. I think everything else was full cleared at that point. So, oh, and level 4 raft spot I didn't check. So,
Jim, not to cut you off, but we do have XIceblue fighting Ganon. He was heading, I believe, to get the hints right as you were killing the pig, or he was heading to level 1, I forget which.
Yeah, he was buying those hints. He found a step over the water to reach the bow, and which led him to level 1.
yeah. Well, he already had the ladder at that point if he was buying hits.
Yep.
He has Ganon down, and I think it's like 2 rooms up past that Patra is Zelda.
Yeah, she was right there. Like I didn't see any of level 9. That was fantastic. I heard him when I entered that patch room the first time I was in there. I was like, oh, I think I hear, because you could kind of hear a preemptive Ganon roar, and then the Patra roar takes over.
Oh, was that masked by the Patra?
Yep, just a little bit. But I caught it, and I went back and checked, and then I went to the left and found the raft there, and I was just like, yeah, statistically speaking, I gotta get out of here.
Yep.
So I did.
Cowabunga, gotta go surfing.
Looks like XIceblue is trying to find a way around that Patra, which I certainly don't blame him for.
But both of you had a very similar route most of this game. Collected 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6.
Yep, those were the easy out, the open ones. You know, when you run into those, you want to clear them, especially when you need Triforces and items. Those are easy ones to clear. 6 wasn't that bad. Usually it's a little worse. 4 was kind of a deep dive. A little key starved in the beginning, but I purchased 2 keys, I think. 1 or 2 keys, just enough to top me up a little bit. And by the time I found the enter key, it was moot anyway, as it always is.
But speaking of keys, that may be a problem for XIceblue, is he's only got 2.
Nah, I think he should be fine.
Yeah, you don't need keys to get to Zelda.
Well, he is looking for a different path to not have to fight the Patra. He probably just doesn't know that Zelda's right there.
Clearly, I mean,
It's kind of hard to just tell. I mean,
No, I think he really wants that 10th heart piece. Check the magical sword.
oh, definitely.
Actually, I think the magical sword must be at the raft spot, unless we found it somewhere else that I missed.
We saw it at some point. I just forget where it was. It was like, I don't know, 30 minutes ago.
Yeah.
it is south, or just east of level 4, if you will, southwest of level 1. The shield spot, the cheap shields shop.
Oh, that place. I like his liberal use of the silver arrows here.
Yep, over 100. Doesn't have to worry about pinching those pennies.
And he has found the
There it
alternate
is.
path to Zelda. And he has more keys now than I think he ever had in the seed landing it. Done with an official time of 1 hour, 1 minute, 6 seconds.
Very close to sub-hour. But good race to both y'all. Congratulations, Jam.
Right on. Thank you so much. Can't wait to go back and listen to the commentary. You two are pros. I'm sure it was fantastic and exciting all the way through.
It was a pretty good race, can't lie.
Yeah, you guys are pretty much neck and neck all the way until right after 7. And even then, it was still very close.
Oh.
Yep, that
Audible.
ladder, man.
Audible sounds of distress.
I've said it how many times during the tournament that level 7 would be my bane. If there was a key item in 7 that was required, it would be the reason that I lost this tournament.
Ironically, it's the second to last dungeon I found.
Same here.
Yeah,
I found
awesome.
7 last, and then 1 was. I went and dug hints, and I got the hint for the bow being step across the water. And the moment I grabbed that hint, you dot, and I was like, oh.
I had stepped across the water. I didn't get any hints because I literally bailed out of 7 after getting the ladder, and then checked a few burn bushes in the forest and worked my way straight up to the river in waterfall area. So it was kind of a beeline at that point. I was telling the commentators that I only had 2 viable spots left to check on the overworld besides those 2 on the river anyway, which was like the power bracelet spot up by level 9 and the raft spot at level 4. So
Yeah, I had never found the white sword item.
Inicky.
That would have been nice. I had to. What was it in 4 where I had to Canadador?
Yep, the White Sword Cave was the south of the fairy fountain.
Oh, the power bracelet spot.
Yep.
The one spot on my tracker that's not marked. Yeah, I ended up digging out that power bracelet very late though, because I didn't check any recorder spots until after I found 2, 4, 5, 3, and then I found 6, and then 8. That was a good seed though. I enjoyed it. It was fun.
Yeah, you guys had a very similar route through most of the seed up until that level 7.
How soon did Jam find ladder?
You guys seem to be about, what, maybe 2-3 minutes at the most apart on that?
Yeah, I want to say
Yeah, it
that
was late.
Jam was grabbing the ladder. Probably you were probably already in level 7 at that point, I think.
Okay. Yeah, the moment I saw that ladder, like being in that room at the very bottom, jaw of the dinosaur, yeah, I was like, okay, yeah, that's not a nice location.
okay, so you never dug level 9 at all, like earlier?
No.
Okay.
No.
Yeah. Is that like the normal strategy that you usually do, or?
I went off of a gut feeling. And with having silvers as early as we did, and red ring, white sword, I went off of a gut feeling because I had like 6 levels to find the bow, and I was just like, you know what? I was like, the bow has got to be somewheres, and I was like, I don't think it's a 9, so I went off of that gut feeling and just kept diving levels.
Before I found level 7, I actually went into level 9 and searched around a little bit, ran into the raft, and then as soon as I saw that, I left and had no idea what the other item was. But just having that little bit of knowledge and that last little bit of exploration, it kind of pushed me out of level 9 and had made me go find levels. I think I found level 8. No, I kind of went straight for the raft spot after that. So. And then that brought me to level 7 by going south.
Yeah, I had 5 Triforces around 35, and I decided to just keep digging levels, as opposed to, going straight to 9 like everybody else would have done.
Yeah, 32, 36 was when I picked up my 5th Triforce. So it took me 22 minutes to finally get the last little pieces and go kill Ganon.
My dig through 4, I ended up getting bopped when I finally got the Cananador. I got bopped by a red bubble, so I had to do the rest of that dungeon with no sword, because the only blue bubbles was the one south of that first red bubble room. So I think that slowed me down a lot just to get the red ring.
Crazy fun, crazy good games. Very proud of you for making it this far in the tournament, and I want to see you in the next one get just as far, if not farther. So really good job. Thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate it. GG's on your win. Good luck with the rest of the tournament. I'm looking forward to what's being talked about in the Discord of a future interest.
Oh yes, the rumblings of the battle royales clearly is what you're referencing.
Oh no, not the battle royale. There's another thing I'm talking about.
Yes, there has been interest building about a. I'll put the bag out there. Potential swordless tournament at some point.
Oh, I wonder who's putting that one together.
From what I was reading, it was Dark Fowls, and I think Crimson mentioned it as well.
I believe 8gen was also helping gather interest.
I'm definitely interested in that.
However, that will probably take a little bit to get started up. For those of you that need your Zelda fix right now, well, we do, I believe, have a tournament race tomorrow at 10 p.m. I'm not 100% sure who's racing. Let me look that up real quick. I want to say it's 2 people that we all know and love to hate sometimes. Maybe. I don't know. Well, however, while I'm pulling that up, please do give our runners JamEvil and xIceblue a follow, as well as my commentary partner August the 40th and Sir Fiesel.
It sure is the fees knees.
We have data. So we have Chess Jerk versus BT tomorrow at 10:30. And then at 9:30 on the 1st, we have Fury versus Redbird.
Oh, awesome. So, so it looks like Breasticle and let's say Breasticle and Fury are going home. That's my prediction. I'm putting it out there. Prove me wrong.
It's tough. I want to vote for Fury because he's a keyboard player, but he also is a blue Nana lover. In any case, I think, unless you guys have any final thoughts, that's going to do it for us here.
Nope. Other than just good luck with the rest of the tournament. You start Elite 8 brackets to your next race. Yeah.
I'm not ready. I gotta practice. I haven't done a single Elite 8 seed. I've been like putting it off. I'm like, maybe I won't need to practice. Like, oh boy. Well.
Oh yeah, I've been just putting that off too.
Just take Second Quest 8. You're fine.
All right. Thank you so much. I'll catch you all later.
All right.
Well, With that, I have been Alsoa, and we'll see you guys on the next stream.